contracts were not renewed. And in many instances, when contracts are not renewed in government, it's because somebody's waiting to find a friend who supplies that service or that product. And so that's where the suspicion comes in around corruption. The minister himself said there has been corruption in the past.
Please go check out rebelstoreZA.com. Their winter range is now available. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Moments. Real Moments are clips from videos or interviews that I think you might find interesting. I know some of you may not have the time to watch the full hour-long video or interview, so I thought these Real Moments can also double up as a bit of a teaser, if you will. And who knows, maybe if you enjoy this clip, you might want to watch the full video. Links to the full video or interview are always in the description below. Also, if you want to donate to the show, there's a link in the description for you to do just that. You can now contribute to the show for as little as 40 Rand a month via debit order. Also, there are now some exclusive perks if you're a member. T's and C's apply. This is only available through Quicket. Or you can visit my website for various options on how to contribute to the show. Donations are not a must, but they're greatly appreciated and go a long way to supporting the channel. And of course, subscribing is always free. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, here is your real moment. Current situation South Africa finds itself in, and specifically SAPS and the forensic labs, is this DNA backlog. Now, let's put some context to this for our viewers that may not be aware of this. When we say DNA backlog, explain to people the gravity of that situation.
So, I mean, I'm glad that you've provided context, that it was a really great team effort that has helped us to elevate this issue into the public domain. But, you know, I must pat myself on the back a little bit because it was very lonely for a long time, Joe. I couldn't get anybody's attention, and I couldn't understand why nobody thought this was an important story. I thought I was going crazy. And you know, back to Dan's comment, it was the most frustrating part of my 12 years in politics, that such a critical issue was not getting the attention that it deserved, even from my own colleagues in Parliament. And so, you know, it was really a letter that I sent to the National Police Commissioner in June of 2019 about the lack of availability of sexual assault evidence collection kits at police stations. Where sexual assault occurs, there is a kit and the police are supposed to have this kit available. That's really what kicked off the investigation. So, well, if that's one end of the value chain that is dysfunctional, what is the processing end of that value chain? What does it look like? What are the problems? And people started contacting me, and we started to uncover the fact that this backlog was growing exponentially. And in the third quarter of that financial year, we saw a massive decline in the performance of the forensic laboratories in their ability to process DNA case exhibits at the labs. Now, the implications of that are that, you know, thousands and thousands of victims of the most heinous crimes in South Africa are left with without justice or recourse to justice, and their perpetrators are let back onto the streets because they cannot be held forever. And so we saw this decline in the performance, kept on raising it, worked together with my colleagues, and we managed to get this onto the agenda in Parliament and ultimately have the debate that we had a couple of weeks ago and really get the country talking about it. Because, you know, it's young children, it's farmers, it's farm workers, it's rural communities, it's gogos, it's people who, and the families of victims that are left without any answers or any justice when the DNA system is dysfunctional as it is at the moment.
And how did we even get to this point? I mean, in your research and following up and finding about all this stuff, is it budget cuts? Is it just corruption? Is it, you know, I'm tired of hearing everything being blamed on corruption, but I mean, yeah, how did we get here?
Yeah, well, where there's smoke, there's fire, Joe, and where the ANC, there's corruption. And, you know, I don't want to simply put it on corruption, but I mean, there's certainly an extremely high level of incompetence and just poor management, which is, you know, it's a systemic issue in government where over many years, the right people for the job have not been appointed, and people have been promoted into positions that are way beyond their capability. And so from supply chain to the laboratories and the police management, all of these things need to come together. with institutional experience and memory to make the system work. And when you take people out of that system and you put new people in and they're not properly trained or qualified, you start to see, so it's not necessarily always corruption, it's just incompetence, bad management, and cadre deployment, which ultimately erodes the foundation of the civil service, which how can I put it? I mean, I met a lobbyist in the States once when I was working in the state Senate in Massachusetts, and he said, us lobbyists are like the oil that keeps the wheel turning of government because it's so complex. Well, good people in government are the ones that actually keep the wheels turning. And what we saw was supply chain became dysfunctional, contracts were not renewed. And in many instances, when contracts are not renewed in government, it's because somebody's waiting to find a friend who supplies that service or that product. And so that's where the suspicion comes in around corruption. The minister himself said there has been corruption in the past. But it's beyond that. It's not just corruption. It's just pure and unbridled incompetence.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was your real moment. This is your second reminder to please subscribe to my channel. Please like and comment below. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this content, please share it with friends and family. Also, check out the Joe Emilio Show Telegram channel. It's a channel, not a group, so you won't be bombarded by weird memes and information. It's really just a notification channel for you to be notified of all my upcoming uploads and live streams. Link is in the description. You can also watch more of my content here or here, somewhere in this general area. Just check it out. You might like it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.